afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, December 13th, 2024. And see, 13 is a power number. It's a very positive number. And everybody was convinced a long time ago that it's a bad number. And it isn't. It's the opposite. A little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, we'll be having Reverse Aging Health Call and all the rest. Tonight, a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. What would we believe would be the greatest lie that mankind is living today? Now, if people come up with their own impression of what that would be, and it actually, it literally proves itself on a continual basis, into daily and second to second, is ignorance of our spiritual nature, which is pretty profound, because when you're watching everything and you look and you say, where's the spirituality? Where is it? Where'd it go? It didn't go anywhere. It's within each and every one of us. Because when you add all the factors that we are subjected to, it isn't a surprise that the majority of this population is immersed in material physical life. Not spiritual life, material physical life. But the irony to it is the reason that the civilization suffers so much is because they are not going within in the spiritual life. They are staying outside in the material physical life, which is ruled by the ego mind. And the spiritual is overseen by the heart mind. Quite interesting. But it's apparent. And when you add all the things that motivate that, so if you're caught in the ego mind, what are you doing? Well, you're worrying, stressing, fearing, anxiety. Not all the time, but it's there. We all know that. But the majority don't know how to move out of that. Which isn't a surprise, because what do they have to go by? What are they going to do? They're just going to say, oh, by the way, I'm going to do this. They don't have anything to go by. Now, because of the distraction of religion, which is so rampant on this planet, which causes so much pain and suffering, that's another draw to pull us in this opposite direction. And we don't know that. Because we were trained to believe that everything that is powerful is outside of us. Somewhere. Not that we know where, but it's somewhere out there. Something that's this all-powerful thing that does things to us. And it's actually the opposite. The universe is all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, because it continually stretches and it never ends. And this is why we have we name other universes that are intersecting and connecting and expanding. Because if you remember, energy, it doesn't disappear. It's like people say, well, we use electricity as energy, and then we use it. Yeah, but it doesn't dissipate. See, you can't store energy. People say, what about a battery? You've got to give the battery energy. And then it drains out. It doesn't sustain itself. But when you look at the landscape and everything, doesn't it make sense that we've gone the gambit with the material physical life, totally immersed in it, and we're beginning to comprehend the ego mind and what its influence is over us. And we're starting to say, the way is within. There's no other ifs, ands, buts about it. So why? Because people don't know that. It's why that so many aren't. They are not aware of it at all. They're totally, their heads in the clouds. They don't know. And they may not be ready anyway. They may need a couple more lifetimes of incarnation in order to find out for themselves. As remember, this isn't a race. So it's not like, hey, you know, yeah, get over that finish line. I gotta beat the guy next to me here. And this lifetime that we have, it is meant to be a deeply enlightening experience. Right? Now, can you think of anything more important than knowing how to access your own direct personal connection to an all-powerful, deeply eternal loving source of highly intelligent, creative energy that has the magical power to manifest anything your heart desires? That's a mouthful, but you think of anything more important than that? There's nothing more vital to finding happiness in this life than knowing one's own spiritual connection, and nothing more exciting than a proven way to access it, which works every time. You ask yourself questions. These are probing questions for oneself. They're not superficial that one blows off. They're deep-seated questions. And you ask yourself these questions. Obviously, because you're curious, right? How are you with God? Which is you. How are you with that? How do you feel about that? Do you have any things that are stopping you, redirecting you, or things that you are questioning or not sure of, or, there's so many things. You ask yourself, what is my relationship with me? What is my relationship with me? How am I with myself? Now, most of us would never ask these questions. Why is that? Well, we're too preoccupied with the ego mind's direction in the material physical world. Not bad. It's not a negative thing. Do you ever look at yourself as divine? Genuinely, not superficially, but deeply, that you are a divine being. And then you ask yourself, what is my intimate connection with the God that I am? Do you know the difference? Do you know the difference? What is it like to be with the God that you are and not to be with the God that you are? In other words, you have the connection, and then let's say you don't have the connection. What's the difference? What do you feel? How many of us ask those questions? I don't know. That's a tough one to answer. I would say that the majority of us are asking the God that we believe is outside of us because of religions. And that's it. And that something, see, the motivation or understanding of something's going to save you. Something's going to, miraculously save you. And the funny thing is that that's who you really are. And the interesting thing about that is that none of us need to be saved. Okay? We're all divine perfection in these bodies. We do something, we're immediately forgiven by the universe. It's not something like, we carry these things throughout this life and other lifetimes. Sometimes it's all put together. We don't know it. It's all put together in this lifetime, and we take it with us. But we don't know what it is. It's there, It's like a door to a closet that the closet's just packed, right? And if you open that door, it's all going to come tumbling out on you. All these things that you have not visited with yourself. Sooner or later, you will. And the longer that we with ourselves, that we sit with these curiosities that we ask ourselves, that we feel into, what our answers are for that. How are we answering this? If you walked up to somebody, let's say you walked up to somebody, or say as a friend or acquaintance, and you asked them what their relationship with God was or is, they most likely would respond by the God outside of them. Okay? Or they might say, I'm not a religious being, but I do know that God exists. Okay? Now, what is the title or label of atheist? Right? Well, atheist is one that doesn't believe in God. Doesn't believe that God exists. And all that means is that they don't know who and what they are. There's different versions of it, different perspective with different people on how they view that question. Now, some people may say, the God is within me. Then you say, what does that mean to you? To them. What does that mean to you? If you know that the God is within you, what does that mean? Anybody could say that God is within me. But the impact is that, do you know what that means? That means that you are the God. Not the guy with the white beard with the bolt of lightning up in the clouds that is going to punish you if you don't follow what he wants you to do. That is a false God. There's a lot of those. And since this is our direction, this has always been our direction, the rediscovery of the gods that we are in these bodies, the pure consciousness, which is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And you, all of us, are drops holding the essence of that. Doesn't matter what species, right? It doesn't matter what civilization. Throughout the Giss galaxy, throughout this universe and beyond, you're still pure consciousness in a physical form. Okay? Or a biomechanical form. Now, why is it that we have these organic bodies to experience? Why is it? Why don't we just have some kind of a mechanical machine that we enter, that our pure consciousness enters? Right? Because of the experience. Does it make sense to you that If we wanted the experience of being in a cold mechanical electrical body, what kind of an experience would that be? Zero. Zero. Would it be able to touch, feel, smell, get excited, cry? No. This is why we created the organic body, to experience all that, so that we know what it is. Now, do you believe that, let's say, an AI has emotion, like we have emotion, right? Does it? No. Can it rationalize? No. Does it have common sense? No. These organic vessels are very unique, but we take them so much for granted, it's unreal. We really do. Because what? We come in without memory, and we experience this life like we have countless others. But see, it's difficult when you don't know. It's very challenging when you don't know from the beginning. Unless someone tells you, unless someone shares information with you. And that's the missing link to this civilization. That link right there is the key missing link for our progression and expansion into higher dimensions and frequencies. Right there. Now, let's say that the next generation, the children that are birthed, are informed. They're given that information. And it deeply seats itself within them. What do you think? And then that childlike curiosity, that childhood curiosity is huge. So they're going to want to have more of it, so that they actually know who and what they are. See, and then one might say, well, they're children, and they, their ego mind, and that would be a real mess. No, when you're an open vessel and you haven't been programmed yet, that's when you bring in the correct programming, which is you are a God in that body, and the God is pure consciousness. Anything you desire is yours. But and then you explain the ego mind and what that purpose of the ego mind is, and the different challenges that you will have with ego mind. And then what is the heart mind? And the heart mind is that once you've mastered being in the heart mind, then the ego mind no longer exists. And the difference between ego mind and heart mind is pain and suffering, ego mind; peace, heart mind. That's it. All rolled up in one little brief statement. Pain and suffering, ego mind; peace, heart mind. Now, when we're ignorant to all of this, as all of us have been when we came into these bodies and we were birthed, and we weren't given the correct information. Okay? We were programmed all wrong. And it spells it out on this planet, because all you got to do is observe and watch to know that is confirmed. You know it's confirmed. It's not a secret. And this is why I always talk about it's all about you. It's about you and how you feel about you. See, each one of us determine and decide. Nobody decides for you. Well, then one might say, what about the universe? The universe does what you ask it to do and more. We were never taught, as a society, as a civilization, as a species, that we never have to ask for what we want because it's already on its way. Okay? It's the truth. But what is it? What's that thing that gets there? What is that force that comes in? It's the doubt factor. The doubt factor comes from the insecurity of the ego mind. And that's that doubt that comes in. You see, we really aren't in sync with many things, because if we look at something, or when we look at something, we see it from our perspective, right? Now, if we see it from a twisted perspective, which is ego mind insecurity, where we will basically negify it, right? So when we negify it, we're manifesting something of low frequency. Now you could say, oh, this is, forget it, this is it, it's done, look at all this crap, so on and so forth. Or you could say, anything's possible. Go either way, depends on what you're focused on. For you. So you focus on it, but you don't know you're focused on it. Everything that you say, you create. So if you say something is bad or negative or bad or this or that, it will be, and it will continue to be. And you will revisit it over and over again. And it will grow and manifest. It's that hurdle that we're all facing. Sooner or later, all of us face it. How do we overcome that? Meditation. Many different ways have been tried, but meditation is the only way. It's where you, like we do on these meditations, you find a comfortable place for you with no outside distraction. You relax into the body, and you're still, as you can possibly be, still as a statue, and you focus on your breath rising and falling. Just like you're naturally breathing, you focus on that. And that's meditation. That moves you into the heart, mind, and the now. The more you do it, the more you become connected with it. You're not just doing it to do it. You're doing it because you want to do it. Now, you may not see it this way, but it really is. Ego, mind, chaos. Heart, mind, peace. Tranquility. See the difference? That's what the now is. Yesterday and tomorrow that's where most people are. They're in yesterday or tomorrow. They're not in the now. And you're looking at the majority of people on the planet never meditate whatsoever. Many are afraid of what they'll find inside, which is absolutely silly, which is ego mind again. See, ego mind keeps you out of that. Because what are you? Oh, you're fearful. You're fearful of what you may find within you. Does that make any sense? Yeah. It's an unknown. It really is for us. Unknowns are kind of strange because when you don't know something about something, and you're presented with something where you might be going into it, and you have no clue about it, it can be pretty challenging. Where you might do an about face and no, I'm not going there. No. Why not? Come on, it's an unknown, but hey, aren't we in this life to take risks? Leaps of faith? Aren't we in this life to have 100% confidence, trust, and faith in ourselves and this universe? See, what happens is that we get sedentary in our space. This is what happens to us. You find a comfort dugout, and you stay there. Do most people do that? Yeah, yeah. Now, there's other people that you may have met, or you may know, or it may be you, that are constantly on the go. They're doing things, they're taking excursions, they're traveling, they're doing all the time. All the time. Why is that? Why do some people do that? Because of fear, which is created by the ego mind. They don't feel that they should stay in one place at one time. They always feel that they have to be constantly going someplace, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. But we learn from that. See, when we watch others, why do we watch everything? And why do we observe? Because we learn. It's an absolutely phenomenal playground to be a part of, because you could just watch people and learn. There isn't an educational system on this planet that can touch that, period. Not even close. That's our education. It's also our reference. You could watch somebody doing something, you could say to yourself, why are they doing that? No. And why has my attention been drawn to it? You're not judging them. You're just curious to say, why are they doing that? And you start thinking, you say, well, what am I learning from that? You say, why did they jump over that fence and they caught their leg on that barbed wire and it cut them bad? Why would they jump over that fence? And you would say, I wouldn't jump over that fence, because the chances of that happening to any of us is pretty darn good. But yet they did. They're being adventurous. And they thought, well, I could clear that fence. Or it's like, say, someone in their 80s that decides to jog, right? Or fast walk. Well, they're too old to do that. Why would they be doing that? Well, one of the biggest secrets of staying active, right, to in other words, have all your faculties as the body rots away, is to keep moving. Keep the blood moving. Get the blood going. Most of us don't do that. Most of the people on planet Earth are sedentary. I'm not talking about the ones that survive out in the wilderness and build their own stick homes and that type of thing. But the majority of us in the so-called civilized world are sedentary. We're not active. Now, if you look at our different generations, and I was having this conversation earlier, if you look at our different generations, look at them. You'll see a difference. Okay? It just, when you look at the different generations and you look at how we were as a people, right, in the 1960s, and then look at how we are today, you'll be blown away. And I've looked at this probably for the last 50 years on variances of generations and the effects on their physical well-being. It's amazing what you see in the progression of it. If you look at the 60s and you say to yourself, wow, look at these people. They all look pretty. None of them are fat. They look really healthy. They actually have a glow about them. And then you go to now, you'd be just blown away when you're viewing that. You got to be kidding me. That can't be us today. Because this was us then. How did we go from this to that? And see, the number one focus would be what? What would it be? Knowledge is power, ignorance is evil. To know about our habits and what we ingest, what we take in, what we breathe in. It's kind of like make this civilization healthy again. Make America healthy again. Because when I highly recommend you do that, is look at the generations. Get a picture, there's tons of them, of today, people today, on a beach, okay? And then get a picture of the way we were in the 60s on the beach, okay? Not looking at the clothes or anything. You're just looking at physical well-being. Without physical well-being, how are we ever going to be spiritual? You're not. That's another huge challenge for this civilization. You're not. You keep reincarnating until you put all this together. If your body isn't healthy, right, and you're challenged with the body that you're in, and you are artificially disconnected from the God you are spiritually within that body, why do you believe the body is ill? Okay? There's a huge connection there. And on this planet, okay, believe it or not, the priority is what? What is the priority amongst us? How we look. That's the priority. How we look. Now, I've had clients through the years that I would meet when I was a private health instructor, right? And they looked absolutely marvelous. They did, how they looked, right? Until I started going through the life analysis, what they do for what's their life like during the course of the day, where's their stress factors and everything. And then you find out that they got all kinds of things going on in their body. It's unreal. They just mask it well. Cover it up. Okay? And we become so preoccupied with the body and worrying and stressing and fearing about the body. How are we going to make that connection that when you connect with the divine essence, the divine perfection, the kingdom of God, the God that you are in that body, do you really believe you're going to be sick? Why do you think so many of us on this planet are sick? Because we don't know who and what we are. This is all connected. And you search within you, you will find that to be absolutely true. And until we do make that decision for ourselves to go within, and then you start learning how your body will respond to that. It's huge. But if you focus on something, right? Most of us, we look in the mirror. Most of us won't look in the mirror. After we get to it, we just won't look in the mirror. We ignore it. Okay? Ego mind. And then you focus on things that you don't like about you. That's the body. Usually it's the body. Sometimes it's the personality, character, that type of thing. But, most of us look at the body and we find things that we feel are faulty. And we focus on them and we reinforce them. And we don't realize as we reinforce them through our lives, they get worse. And we don't correlate that. Because we're doing it to ourselves. And on top of that, we don't know we're doing it to ourselves. So you can see how it's all interlinked on purpose that way. It's the way it's been done. It's just the way we designed it. During the quiet time of this meditation, you're going to be exploring your own personal connection with the divine. And see, you'll be in the heart mind rather than the head. Because you know that the head is so full of ideas about what God is and what God is not. The head misses the real experience, feeling, and quality of godliness. So this meditation, the reason is that when the mind is quiet, still, and single-pointed in the now, we can instantly find it's a deep, alive, spiritual feeling inside. And that is the God source. Already exists within our heart and at the core of our soul. As we relax into this place, a timeless, deeply eternal, loving, conscious energy sneaks into us and relaxes every cell and fiber of our very being. I join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. An easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain relaxed into the body. Still focused on your breath rising and falling. You do not have to ask for what you want. It's not absolutely necessary that you ask for what your heart truly desires in your life. This universe already knows every thought that you are thinking. You need to stop thinking about whatever you do not want and only imagine what you do. That's all you need to change. When you do this one thing, you will find this universe is replying to each desire you have with the words as you wish. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning really believing that you're a super magical and ridiculously powerful manifesting being. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here tonight, a little after 9:15 p.m., Friday, December 13th. 2024, to continue our reverse aging health call and all the rest. And we will return here Saturday, December 14, 2024, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on out there or within you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.